Welcome back to the Tomarosa. We have survived our first year as dairy farmers, and we were going to share some experiences about that.
So we're waiting for the cows to start calving anytime now, and we realized that, hey, we made a video about our first week as dairy, surviving our first week as dairy farmers. We should make one about surviving our first year. And then we looked and found out it's exactly 1 year to the day since we made that video. So here you go. It's been a week since Buttercup calved, and we've been dairy farming for a week, and we're still alive.
Yay, we survived our first week as dairy farmers. It's so interesting to look back at that video because I can remember that feeling of just being like tired but exhilarated and excited but scared of all the things we were trying to do. It was very overwhelming but also very fulfilling.
Not only at that time were we taking on the added responsibility of milking cows, but the barn wasn't even done yet. We weren't even milking in the barn yet. We were still milking outside. And so to look back at how far we've come just during the last year is amazing.
Yeah, this time last year, Stacy was working on actually getting the metal parts of our milking parlor installed. Like, they weren't even installed. So it's a big difference this year. So we're going to talk about some of the things that we found last year that we struggled with and how we have tried to resolve those this year.
If you followed some of our recent videos, you've seen that we've done a lot of work on fencing during this dry period. And I'll just say that the dry period has been great to be able to get caught up on some projects and get some downtime. But anyway, we've been working really hard on fencing, and part of that was to improve the efficiencies of our managed intensive grazing, because we move our cows every day. If you don't have a good system set up, it takes a lot of time. And so what we've done is we've put in some new fences and made it a lot easier and more efficient and quick to be able to move the cows. It used to be we'd have to basically build boxes, fence all four sides and then, having to move the boxes. But now it's just a front fence and a back fence, a few step-in posts, a couple small reels, and you're good to go. It actually goes pretty quick. It goes so fast that when you're done, you actually have time to just stand there and enjoy watching the cows graze for a few moments. It's pretty great.
Yeah, I put a post on our Facebook Clover Mountain Dairy account with the word pasture struck. Because that's just how I felt. Sometimes when we let the cows into new pasture paddock, and you just have to stand there and take it in. Just seeing the cows being excited on the new grass, and it's just this feeling you get. The other thing we did with fencing is because we put the calves with the cows right away, we had all of our fence heights pretty much at cow height. And we ended up having to always go back and put in a second fence at like calf height.
Which was a lot of work every time.
So this year, part of our fencing was also installing a calf height wire permanently so that we wouldn't have to do that. And we could just have them come and go with the mama cows.
Already, because we've already started grazing, it's been a huge time savings for us.
And some may wonder, well, why didn't you guys do that last year? And part of it is we were new. We didn't know exactly how we were going to manage grazing, and how we should set it up. So we did some temporary things, and then this year we basically made them permanent. All right, so the next thing that I think we changed that's going to help us a lot this year is how we manage our water for the cows. Last year we had some water in poly pipe on the surface, and then we would have spigots every, 200 feet or so. Mm-hmm. And then we could tie into them, and that works great. But then you're constantly going out there to fill up the water.
So one of the things we did was we did expand our water network, our poly pipe. We added probably about 350 more feet of poly pipe. So pretty much anywhere we graze routinely has access to that now. Because we're managing basically two herds. We have the cows, and then currently the yearlings, which are kept separate. We have two water tanks, but we put Hudson type float valves on both tanks. It's a very durable float valve. We don't have to manually fill the tanks, and they're anti-siphon for safety purposes.
And that's been a huge labor saver already.
Another thing to talk about is the management of the animals themselves. So a year ago we had new babies, which meant we had to start milking mommas, and we milk twice a day. And we milk twice a day
through December.
And we kept the calves on the mommas for 24/7 for about the first 8 weeks. And then after that, we started separating the calves at night only, so they'd run together during the day. And we did that until we weaned at around 6 months. But anyway, we milked twice a day through December, and then for about the last 6 weeks, we switched to once a day milking, and
the last glorious 6 weeks.
And it was pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I like milking cows. Don't get me wrong. I love milking cows. I love working in the parlor. It's a wonderful place to work.
So how are we changing that this year? We definitely are thinking about going to once a day milking sooner. We're trying to develop a plan right now as to how soon allow us to have a much better work-life balance and manage different things on the farm.
Since we're talking about milking, we've also made some improvements to the parlor. So like this time last year was just trying to get the parlor functional to be licensed. This year we've made some improvements to the parlor, some of which we covered in our previous video on ready to milk. And then also since that video, just within the last few days, we've also added some ropes and pulleys to allow opening of the exit door from the pit. But yeah, so we made some improvements in the parlor, not really related to like efficiencies or anything, but more work enjoyment is actually moving the vacuum pump out of the parlor, so it'll be quieter in there. The current pump we have isn't a super loud pump, but it is annoying to listen to. And then eventually, in an attempt to improve the efficiencies, we plan to put in a pipeline too, but we'll need a bigger vacuum pump for that, a much louder one. So we're going to build just a little hut outside the parlor to put it into.
So that's kind of like the cow dairy management side. Last year we also had a lot going on the business side because we had to get licensed as a dairy, licensed as a processing plant, and, you know, develop a market, sell milk, figure out recipes. You know, like all of our recipes for the different products we have, we developed ourselves, you know, and so that took a lot of time. And then just managing time at like farmers market and working with customers. And I think we've mentioned this before, a great thing happened where last year we started with working on, you know, launching our business and being successful. And then all of a sudden, all of our customers became our family. Like, we were very happy that we just love our customers and we love being part of our local community, and they support us so much, and it means so much to us. We've already had customers contacting us through like email and phone and messenger, like, hey, we miss you, when are we gonna get milk? We can't wait to come out and maybe see the calves. And you're like, yeah, we miss you too. So I don't know, that's been a really good business relationship. But last year we had a lot to figure out. This year is nice and relaxing because it's like, oh, let me just renew that license, you know. Let me just go ahead and get these things set up. You know, we didn't even have our milk bottles this time last year. We didn't have our system set up for how we're gonna like process milk or wash bottles or anything. So not having to worry about all that stuff is quite, has lightened that load. And I'm tired of drinking frozen milk. So during the dry period, I had milk frozen in bags in the freezer, and I would thaw out, you know, a half gallon at a time and use it mostly in cooking or in coffee. And I am so looking forward to fresh milk.
So we're waiting for babies anytime now. We're trying not to work too hard these last couple days because we know it's gonna get busy soon. Daisy is the first one due May 6th. She's really bagged up and just looks uncomfortable and should be any time. But Rose, who's actually due in like 2 weeks,
the 14th, she
is really bagging up and looking like she's pretty close too, even though we're still 2 weeks from her due date.
So it might be,
but she was about a week early last year.
Yeah. It might be back-to-back calves.
which is fine because I think really for processing purposes we really need about 2 cows to get rolling on that.
And then the other 2 girls, Buttercup and Carnation, they're about a week or 2 after that. Carnation is due June 6th. So
I think they're actually about a week apart. All 4 of them, because it's all within a month that they're all due. So.
So what we're doing is we're just keeping an eye on them and making sure that they're doing well and just waiting.
Just waiting.
A lot of people have asked, how did you guys do? Did you make money? What did you learn? And this video is getting kind of long, so I decided that I'm going to split that up and we're going to do a separate video on that. I'm getting all that information together and I just want to do that separately so this video doesn't run any longer. So that's probably going to come out next.
All I'll say is I'm pretty happy with how we did.
Oh yeah, me too. Okay, that's it from the Tomarosa. We are having a good day here at Clover Mountain Dairy. As you can tell, it's sunny out and the cows are on lush green grass. They're getting ready to calve and we're ready for this next season, we hope.
All right, well, thanks for joining us and we'll see you next time.
All right, bye.
That looks pretty good.
Okay.
Plus everybody can kind of see the bottom of our awesome milk bottle collection up there.